Well, I'm here because we're going to be doing the 8th, I can't believe it's the 8th?
Oh my gosh, the 8th annual?
8th annual Downtown History and Beer Tour. And we're coming to you live here from Galt Gardens in the heart of the downtown.
Heart of the downtown.
How excited are you?
I'm stoked. I can't wait to see where we go.
I'm stoked, and I'm like one level above stoked.
Oh my God.
I'm like super stoked. Yeah, this is great. So we got a lot of great beers to drink. We're coming to you virtual. Thanks for having us in your house today. You got anything to say to everybody?
I hope you enjoy all the beers we picked out for you. Maybe enjoy a little candy while you're there.
Yeah.
And yeah, all of our commentary and...
Yeah, and thanks for having us in your living room virtually. Hey, Donnie, that's a nice new couch you got there. Yeah, wow.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, Samantha, great new painting. That's wonderful. What is that? Is that a Rembrandt? Original? Oh, okay, I see. Well, anyways, it's great to be in your living room virtually. Me, Emily, we're going to be sampling some beers, having a great time. Hope you enjoy this wonderful rendition of the virtual Downtown History and Beer Tour! Woo! Okay, well, welcome to the Downtown History and Beer virtual tour. The second year of the virtual tour, but the actual 8th year of the Downtown History and Beer Tour. We're starting off here at Dylan's Piggyback Poutineery, where Dylan has graciously provided us with a Ribstone Creek from Edgerton, Alberta. And as Dylan was explaining it to me, it's a flagship beer of the brewery. It's a nice, cool, refreshing lager. You said about 5%?
Yeah, it's 5%.
5%. And yeah, we're going to sample this beer here. It's a great location, great food, great drinks. And I think, Dylan, you've kind of become almost like a craft beer connoisseur in the last 5 years, haven't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's generally, we have like 40 to 50 beers to choose from, and it's all made in Alberta, all of it. So yeah. This is one of our best-selling beers, because of course there's people that are not into the craft beer world as much, and this is a good starter beer, and it's good for people that are right into it and people that are right starting.
See, and I love that too, because you were saying as well that this is one of your best-selling beers as far as craft beer from Alberta, but also that it's the brewery itself's kind of most selling beer. Like,
it's their first beer they made, and it's their highest selling beer. So it's just, and by today's standards, we're just talking about this is 5% is light beer now.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
5% qualifies as light beer these days.
Yeah.
This is a good option. I mean, 5% is light comparatively. It used to be 4% with light beers, but not too many of those around anymore.
No, I think it's 5 and up is pretty much the standard, right?
It doesn't say strong beer on the can like the rest of them. So.
Well, here we are, so I guess we'll take a look at the full body. What do you guys think about the body? Good color, hey? Good,
good color.
Like nice golden, with deep gold,
I'd say.
reddish hue maybe. Yeah. And then remember, you're gonna swirl it. Take the big sniff. Oh, that's fresh.
Yeah.
That's fresh. That's nice. And then take a big sip. This is that moment. Oh yeah, that's good, man. What do you think about it? Like what stands out for yourself, and then you also have what stands out.
This is just an easy drinking. Have no.
Like you said, on the patio.
Yeah.
I would definitely drink this.
Have many of them back to back. Within limits, of course. But there's no strong anything in this. Just an extremely well balanced vodka. And some of those beers, to me, they taste like the bag of empty smells.
Well, and you know too, like you're right, this flows, if you've noticed, this flows into your next sip. So it's not intrusive on the back taste, like it actually flows into, you could drink this really quickly if you wanted to, and especially in the sun on a nice day, like this is perfect. Yeah.
As somebody who like isn't a beer connoisseur, obviously, it's definitely something I recommend to other people who haven't really tried a craft beer yet.
Well, how many different Alberta craft breweries are represented in your beer selection?
Usually between 10 and 14.
That's awesome. Mostly Southern Alberta or scattered throughout the province?
Scattered throughout the province. So
that's awesome just to see the expansion and growth of Alberta craft beer. Like when we started this beer tour, there wasn't a lot happening as far as craft beer and local like Alberta beer. You had your flags, you had your old ones, you know, like Big Rock was around, Wild Rose, you know, now it's completely different.
That was 5 years ago. 6 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Ripstone's been doing this for 10 years, so they're pre the wave.
Just pre the wave, just on that. And you said the location of the brewery was off Highway 1, so they have a pretty unique location.
Yeah, they're like central East Alberta.
Oh, I love that.
Like,
so it's a stop, and you can make a stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, we know where our next stop-off location is in Edgerton, Alberta. Any last comments for this segment of the beer tour? Just a nice wave. Hello, everybody. So any last ideas on this beer? Or Dylan, maybe tell us a bit about how's business these days? How the functionality of things? Are you excited about getting back to going?
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to more consistent weather for some patio. Obviously, we're still doing all of our takeout delivery. We have our own delivery app. Oh. So you'll be able to go into our Facebook page, click through, sign up, and then you just place your delivery like you would on some of the known ones. Except for it comes straight to us, we call local delivery company, pick it up, and take it to you. Well, alcohol can be included on that. Like they changed some rules at the beginning of COVID to allow off sales from restaurants. As long as it's not a cocktail, it has to be in a growler or a can. That's acceptable.
Well, Dylan, thanks for having us again. It's always a pleasure. And like I said, go download that app because I think when it goes directly to the business, that's exciting and it's a wonderful opportunity. So please support local, support our downtown, and thanks again, Dylan. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And
When the Greyhound buses line came into Lethbridge around 1930, they originally had their terminal half a block north, just to the rear of the Alexandra Hotel, the building we now know as the One Arch Arms, and they asked permission from the city council to park their buses along the street. It's recorded that this gave Alexandra an unfair advantage, so the other hotel owners complained. Whether or not it's true, we do not know. What they did was they came to this site in August 1939, opened this building, and remained here in operation until 2018. One of the things I absolutely love about our old buildings are the stories and layers in the buildings. While the Greyhound moved here in 1939, that's not the beginning of the story of this building. There is an older building underneath the Greyhound building in a sense. In 1939, the Lethbridge Herald noted, "The building recently vacated by the printing firm will be remodeled into a new structure." This is confirmed by the August 1939 Lethbridge Herald. They noted that the Greyhound bus is now located in the completely renovated building that was formerly occupied by commercial printers. One of the things we can do when we go through the building is to try and see where the older building was, where the additions are, and where the renovations are. It's fun to see all the layers of the building. They did those renovations in 1939, and remember, it's at the end of the Great Depression. To renovate this building in 1939, it cost $25,000, and they put a lot of things into it for the traveling customer. There was a waiting room, a lunch counter, and a soda counter. The lunch counter was originally under the management of the Clarks, who also owned the Clarks Cafe in Lethbridge. The other floor was completely renovated, and one was converted into suites, one of which was originally used by the manager. You could imagine he lived upstairs and worked in the building. Other businesses besides the Greyhound that occupied space here in the early days would have been the Simpson Catalog Ordering Company, Marshall Menswear, Harvey Radio, Family Shoeshine Shop, a barbershop, Travel Inn, and many others have shared space here. In fact, the Lethbridge Police Service had a downtown office in the building for a short time, a couple of decades ago, and they used the old vacant coffee shop space for police service. This building has had a long history, and hopefully it will have a long history going forward.
Well, hey everybody, we're here. It's me and Emily here at Andrew Hilton Wine and Spirits. An amazing place to get all sorts and varieties of beer, wines, liquors, especially with their Scotch tastings and wine tastings they do online. It's a fantastic place to come if you're looking or searching for a unique beer that you might have tried on your travels. They might have it here, so come and check it out. And today we're trying a Sunshine Rain IPA from Cabin Brewing Company in Calgary, Alberta.
Yep.
And you're from Calgary, Emily?
I am from Calgary.
Have you had Cabin Brewing?
I have never had a Cabin Brewing. So
What?
I'm excited to try it.
First time for both of us.
Yeah.
It's a cool can, and it's a West Coast IPA, so it's made with Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic hops, and it's more of a contemporary feel on like the traditional type of IPA. Its IBUs are 60, so it is getting a bit up to more towards 70, which is nice if you like a bit more of a hoppy IPA. Its percentage is a morning beer at 6.7%, so that's going to keep you awake.
Yes.
Get you going in the day. It's a very strong beer, so we're going to give it a try here again in front of Andrew Hilton. Oh yeah, it foams up in the can pretty good, which is nice. So I'll pour myself a little bit.
Nice, thank you.
Give Emily, always let someone pour their own so they can never blame you if you give them the inappropriate amount of head that they can't handle. For this one, I poured myself a nice generous head. I like head on the beer. It keeps the flavor in. In Europe, they're very generous with usually 2-finger rules with your head. I know here in North America, we get a bit anxious that we're losing beer if the beer isn't right up to the top of the glass, but a head's a good thing. So you see the bubbles in there. You see it's nice. It's a nice pale gold color. It's really kind of running through. Very nice carbonation. Good look. Well, let's do this.
Do it.
Oh wow.
Wow, that is good.
That's good. What do you think?
I like the citrusy kind of smell in it.
Yeah. There you go. Better than beery. Citrusy, very floral. You're going to get a bit of that too, which is nice. Oh, that's delicious. So it's actually not the balance of hops and bitterness in there is just perfect. This to me at a 6.7% is like a beer you could actually enjoy early afternoon. On like the hottest of days in downtown Lethbridge, when that time arises again, that we can go out and enjoy ourselves a beverage.
One day.
Yeah, one day. So enjoy your IPA, everybody, and we'll see you at the next stop. Skål!
Outside Andrew Hilton, and Andrew Hilton, of course, is at the corner of 3rd Avenue and Scenic Drive. And this is an amazing place when you're talking beer history of Lethbridge, because if it had been the 1880s, down in the River Valley, Knowles Brewery would have been operating, starting the first brewery here in what is now Lethbridge. They made beer in 10 days. It wasn't pasteurized, it wasn't sediment-free, but it was some of the earliest beer made in this area. Where we're actually standing sort of changed around 1960s, 1970s, when Scenic Drive was built. 3rd Avenue, of course, was the highway. At one time, there was the A&W here on this location, and that sort of really started to grow things down. And now, of course, Andrew Hilton is here, and they have beer from all over that can help you celebrate some of that beer history of Lethbridge.
Welcome everybody to our final stop on the Downtown History and Beer Tour. I'm here with Emily, and we're going to sample an amazing stout. Sample with you, so thanks for letting us in your house. And we're going to be sampling the Good Morning Vietnamese Stout. So it's like Good Morning Vietnam Stout. You got to remember that it's from 88 Brewing in Calgary, Alberta. Again, the name of the company inspired by the 88 Olympics that happened in Calgary, so that's very exciting. I don't know, Emily, if you want to crack it.
Yeah.
It is a stout and a porter, so that means, you know, when we're full, first you want to acknowledge the body. The beer got dressed up for you today. It's got a great logo. So we're gonna pour that. Emily's gonna pour that into our cups here for a sample. And so you want to really take a look at the body. The body on this is gonna be a bit, you know, light or dark brownish, maybe reddish. Sometimes a stout can go up to jet black. So the percentage on this beer is 6.5%, which means a good morning indeed. And if you take the IBUs, the International Bitter Units on this one, come in at about 40. And the range for a stout is from 35 to 70. So we're quite low end on the bitterness units, which is exciting for someone like me. How about you, Emily? Do you like bitterness?
Not really. I'm over sweet.
So for both of us, we're good with the bitterness levels. And so take a look at that. You're gonna want to smell it. Oh yeah, what do you get?
Just beer.
Okay. Well, that's good. It is beer. So I also get like a hint of like chocolate, you know, roasted kind of coffee beans and so forth. So you're gonna get a lot of that in there. Now it's time to, you know, give it a swirl. When you smell it, it opens up your taste buds so that you can taste more of the characters of it. And you're gonna get a bit more of a high kind of roasted malt taste when you taste it as well. So here we are at the Canada Post building on the roof, having a beer in the morning.
Good thing it's a coffee beer.
Oh yeah, wow.
That's good.
So that is full of flavor. So it's very, you know, very warming kind of aftertaste. You want to get a mouthfeel. You can really taste the coffee come out in that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and a bit of caramel infused. Like if you go deeper, you'll get a bit of sweetness that's a bit caramel and chocolate driven. And I really like this beer.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect aftertaste. I love it.
It'll get you started in the morning for sure. So hey, enjoy this beer. Hope you enjoyed the Downtown History Beer Tour 2nd virtual edition, 8th actual edition. And yeah, skål!
And here I am standing on the roof of the amazing federal building, the post office, now known as the Post. Of course, the building originally was built in 1914 as the federal building. Lethbridge had to fight a long time to get this federal building, and when the federal government built it, they put no stop on it. They, you know, the beautiful Tyndall stone, we have the marble, we have the brick sides that are not the Tyndall stone. They built a beautiful building, and the post office moved in and has operated here since November 1914. Shortly after the Second World War, a National Film Board office opened inside this building. In 1949, Clayton Bricker, the supervisor of the Lethbridge National Film Board office, was actually talking about the operations of that office. And he noted that Lethbridge was one of 3 film libraries that were set up by the NFB here in southern Alberta. There was one in Medicine Pass, one in the Crowsnest Pass, and one here in Lethbridge. And how it operated is they had rural routes. Then the films would come back to Lethbridge, be fixed up, and then sent out again. And so that way, before the digital world we have now, that's how the National Film Board ensured that the videos got out to the community, so you could watch it in Milk River, watch it in Enchant, watch it in the Crowsnest Pass, and it was all coordinated through these offices. If you had come to room 407 of this building, you would have seen the Royal Canadian Air Force recruiting office. The recruiting office opened up in this building in 1952 and operated here for about 7 or so years. On the very first day it opened in 1952, 3 men enlisted, and within a year, over 200 people enrolled in the RCAF through this building. There were 30 men who enlisted as officers, 148 airmen, and 37 airwomen, as they called them at that time, came through the recruiting office. From 1914 until just recently, one of the functions of this building was actually as customs. So on the 2nd floor of the building, the customs office moved in 1914 and stayed there for many, many years. It was also joined by the Weights and Measures office. The first customs collector, so the main customs officer when they opened up in here, was a man named Frederick D. Shaw. He served as the collector of customs for Lethbridge from 1908 until he retired in 1916 and was responsible for moving customs into this building. Shaw is a fascinating character in and of himself. He was a licensed dentist, a licensed veterinary surgeon, as well as the customs officer. He tells a rather funny story of his coming to southern Alberta at that time. When the mounted police that he was a part of, that group, got to Fort Benton, these young men, mostly around 20 years old, found themselves quite broke. One member of their group was a barber before joining the mounted police, so he set up a chair on the street of Fort Benton and started cutting hair. Shaw was a dentist. He actually set up a chair and started offering dental service there in Fort Benton. Another of their members was George Leverett de Weber, and he was actually a doctor. So he rented a small room in one of the hotels and started offering medical service. And so that was one of the people. We know that Shaw worked here in the building for 2 years before his retirement. Those are only some of the various things that were in this building. Other federal departments that called this building home over the 100 plus years, Indian Affairs, the PFRA, there was a fruit inspector who worked out of here, the entomological branch, the Soldier Settlement Board, Citizenship and Immigration, the Farm Credit Corporation, and as I mentioned earlier, Weights and Measures. This was always a very busy place for the federal government, and now of course the building has come on with a new use, but this is still going to be a very busy place in downtown Lethbridge.